Welcome to Ready Set RC, and today we are doing the final thoughts review on the Team Corrali Radix 6. This is a 6S capable buggy from Team Corrali, and at this point we have done a first look video. Here we've definitely shown more angles of the car, interior, how it looks, multiple angles of the car in that video. A first run video on 4S. We take it off-road, take it to a park in the area, take it on some rips, no ramps, and just pushed it through. A 6S rip with the stock pinion, pushed it in the park on asphalt, see what we can do with the stock pinion. And then a 6S rip with a 15-tooth pinion. Threw it on 6S and see what the car can perform and how was it operating. So we've gone through a couple runs with this car at this point. So for those of you who are not familiar with our format, as I stated, we've done 4 videos to this point. Please go back into the playlist and watch the 4 videos if you're looking for anything specific to the Radix 6. And then come back to the review video to see more of how we feel about this car. But for those of you who have been watching this up until this point, for this video we're going to touch on the final thoughts review. So we're going to speak on the electronics, covers the controller and the receiver for the Radix 6, the ESC and the motor, and lastly, the servo. We're also going to speak on the drivetrain, which is the front drive shafts, center drive shaft, rear drive shaft, front diff, rear diff, center diff. We're going to speak on all of that and how it experienced for us, any issues, and anything that we were looking to do going forward on the car. Handling and suspension. We'll touch on the spring rate, we'll touch on the shocks on this car, we'll touch on the turn radius of this vehicle, and how it performed for us. Durability, as I stated, didn't have any issues with the car, so we may not touch on durability as much on this one. Same thing with workability. Nothing was really done other than changing out the pinion on this car. Support. For this vehicle, I didn't have to reach out to support, but we'll touch on prior vehicles that we did reach out to support and what our experiences have been. And then we'll touch on the opinionated parts of the discussion. Is it worth it? And would I buy it again? Electronics. And touching on the controller and the receiver. And I've mentioned this on the previous video when I was talking about this with the Team Corrali Kronos V2. I really enjoy these controllers. This is the S2R. It feels really good in the hand. As I stated before, it has a rubberized grip on the backside. Foam wheel, trim settings all throughout this, on-off switch over here. Feels good in the hand in regards to weight. And if you're a one-handed driver and filmer, you'll definitely be able to do this. The throttle is springy, but it will do the job for this ready-to-run controller. As for the receiver on this car, receiver did not cut out once, performed well, was able to handle the speeds without cutting out anything from the distances that we were driving. Responsiveness on this was perfect. No issues in regards to the receiver. ESC and motor, I've stated this before in regards to the ESC and motor. The ESC and the motor on this are the same throughout the 6S lineup. Had no issues in regards to heat when it came to the ESC or motor running this on 4S or 6S. The Team Corrali ESC and motor setups are one of the most powerful ones in the industry. I really like their setups and how powerful they are, and it was no different within the Radix 6. Tons of power, a lot more room to go up on the pinion. This thing is excellent, guys. I really do like the motor and ESC setups in the Team Corrali Radix 6 and the entire 6S lineup. In regards to the ESC, very responsive, accepted the commands with no issues, did not cut out. Very good ESC in the car. As for the servo in this is the same throughout the entire 6S lineup, but I gotta say, compared to the Kronos V2, which I've just recently reviewed, excellent in this car, guys. The turn radius, everything in this car, excellent compared to that vehicle. I really enjoyed how this was set up. It's not slow. It's not seriously fast, but it performs well in this car. I really did like the servo. It's a Metal Gear servo, and it performed excellent in the Radix 6. Drivetrain. So we're going to talk about the differentials, front, center, and rear. We're going to talk about the drive shafts in the front, the center drive shaft, and we're going to talk about the rear drive shafts on this car. No issues, guys. No breaks, no pin breaks, no weird pins falling out on the dog bones of the center drive shaft. Nothing whatsoever. This thing took the power, no problems whatsoever. I really did enjoy the Radix 6 when it came down to that. I mean, no brakes, guys. No brakes, no issues in regards to the drive shafts throughout this car. No wobbling drive shafts throughout the center drive shaft. I mean, this thing just handled and performed well. As for the handling, the springs, as you guys can see, I have it right now still set up in the form of when I was doing my speed runs. I have the tension on the springs screwed down about halfway. I am running it with the droop screws also in place, so you're going to see a little bit of droop going on down in the front. Same thing happens in the rear. So I really did set this up for speed runs. You guys could probably see, got a little scrapes on the chassis, but well deserved. It was a great run with it. I really did enjoy setting it up in this fashion, and it just handled it well, guys. So the handling on this, I mean, you would think even with these tires that it would not have hooked up well, because you're seeing such the deep grooves on here that it wouldn't have hooked up well on asphalt, but it did. Tires hooked up very well. I mean, it was just giving me just enough traction that I was able to sometimes break out the back end. When I'm doing speed runs, it wasn't fishing all over the place. It was handling it well. The tires handled excellent, guys. And with the suspension setup, was perfect. Really liked durability. And as I said before, guys, not really going to touch much on this because I didn't beat my Radix 6 up in bashing. I only ran it once on off-road. Mainly for me, I look at this more of like my parking lot basher, do some rips, do some speed passes with it, and I really enjoyed it. So for durability, for me, I didn't really see an issue. I mean, maybe if you're going to take this off some jumps, you know, try to launch this 30 feet in the air, maybe you'll start running into problems then. But for me, did not. No issues whatsoever. Handled well. Workability. As I stated in the beginning of the video, the only thing that I did was replace the pinion on this. It's very easy. It slides right, the motor mount slides right out. Replace the pinion, put it in. I didn't have an issue with the work that I have done on this car. So as I own it more and I start doing some more tuning and I start really honing this car in, maybe at that point I'll come back and I'll tell you guys how the workability is going. But for right now, minimal workability has been done on this car to really speak on it. Support. Hopefully you guys have seen the Kronos V2 review video. And on that video, I kind of talked about the support for the Team Corrali lineup. Now this car, I did not require any time to reach out to Team Corrali and kind of give them my opinion on the durability of their vehicle, because I didn't have any issues with this, but I did reach out them in regards to the Kronos V2 and the issues that I was having, and just letting them know, letting them know that, you know, the community is out there. We're trying to work with you, just letting you know of what the issues are, and just trying to reassure the community that they are going to make the next steps to start supporting and fixing these problems for the Gen 3. But on this car, I had no issues with support. I had no issues to reach out to them for support. So it's another one that's a non-starter over here, guys. Is it worth it? So currently, guys, this is going for $429. For all of this car, this is a 6S capable vehicle. It is you have 3 sealed diffs on this car, sway bars, metal in the right places. Yes, your toe in the front and your camber and toe in the rear is fixed, but it's a basher, guys, or a street basher, or whatever you want it to be for you. And I have to say, for $429, you're getting all of this car, metal coil over screw down shocks, metal caps on it. For $429, this has got to be the best buy, guys. This is in the entire Team Corrali lineup. This has got to be the best buy. You get a metal chassis on here. You have CV type drive shafts in the front. I mean, there's a lot going on that they gave you for $429. And is it worth it? Yes. For me, and I'm going to roll this right into would I buy this again? Yes. Of the entire Team Corrali lineup, this is the one I would keep buying over and over again. If you're going to try to get any of the Team Corrali lineup, this is the one you want. You want the Radix 6, maybe even the Radix 4. For me, the buggies seem to be the ones that they really honed in and did their homework on. And that's because they are a racing company. That's where their background is. Their background's in racing. And this feels like it. It really does feel like it. It feels like a racer's basher. That is what this buggy feels like. And I really did enjoy the Radix 6. And this is going to be in my lineup for a long time to come. I am not getting rid of this buggy. I don't have too many buggies in my lineup, and that's mainly because I like the wider track width on my cars just to give me a little bit more stability. But when it comes to an on-road basher, this is kind of where I am, because a lot of my on-road 1/8 scale cars, they're basically this dimension, and this falls right there. I mean, I really enjoy this car. So I'm going to keep this. I'm going to be bashing this a little bit more. You'll see this. You may not see this on the channel so much because this is going to be my personal basher, and I'm going to really enjoy this when I'm not doing filming. But I really enjoy the Radix 6. But we're going to leave it here, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram for our latest posts to the channel. This is Ready Set RC signing out. Thanks again, guys.